Showtime. Waited 4 years for this, huh?
Yeah, I think it's a new experience, but I think the biggest thing for us this week is to just treat it as another game and just go out there and have fun. No one really expected us to be there. Nobody, I think, really wants us there. And so just going to continue to depend on ourselves and the guys in the locker room and go out there and try and put a complete game together.
So can you talk about the challenge of this defense of Washington, how it compares to like Utah and Michigan and USC, some of the other good defenses you faced?
Yeah, definitely. It looks like one of the best defenses we'll face all year. Obviously it's kind of hard to tell because haven't actually played against them yet, but just to see them on film, they've got some really good defensive backs. They've got a good front, and so it's going to be a real good matchup all game long, and we're going to have to go out there and make some plays on offense and not leave our defense or our special teams out to dry again.
Sefo, is there a different level of focus this week in the team? Do you see that? You guys celebrated pretty hard the other night. Does it seem like, there's kind of guys are stepping up and asserting themselves this week?
I think it's the same kind of focus because we've just wanted to win every single game since we've been a part of this season, and this game is no different in my mind than other games. I know that might sound a little crazy to some people, but each game is very important. Each game was very important if we wanted to reach this one, and so we just want to come out here and put a complete game together, like I said earlier, and just do our best to be very consistent because this is a very good team that we're going up against in all phases.
Sefo, Chris Peterson in his press conference yesterday talked about how they haven't really seen a guy like you. There's a lot of quarterbacks who run, but he said you don't see a lot of power running guys who are going to run between the tackles. How much have you enjoyed being part of that game plan, or that being a big part of the game plan? And when did you kind of get the sense in the offseason that you were, because you've always been able to run, but it was going to become kind of a key staple of this offense?
I don't know if I ever envisioned running 20 times a game, but whatever it takes to win. And if that means going between the tackles or doing whatever it takes to win, I'll do it. And it's just an exciting time, for this team and to be able to be in the position that we're in. And anybody on this team would do anything for anyone just so we could win. It's a big game, and we're all really focused and really excited for this week.
One of your hallmarks is always your toughness. How much pride do you take in? I mean, you come back from the head pointer, you do everything, you don't take snaps out. How much? I mean, you're always there for this team. How much pride do you take, and how much you want them to remember your grit and your competitive spirit?
That's a good question. I think I don't necessarily want them to remember my toughness, but I think I want them to, be tough in a way. And I'm not saying that my team isn't tough, but I want us to get that feeling of, if you're knocked down, you just get back up and do your best to keep moving forward because it's not always going to be easy, and not just football, but in life. And it's not always going to go your way, and so you just got to do your best to keep pushing, keep grinding in whatever you're doing. And so I think that's the biggest thing I want to leave. It's not necessarily about he was a tough quarterback. I want this program to succeed long after I'm gone. I want people to break my records. I want people to break this team's record. And so it's all about just building and trying to keep the foundation going for a successful future.
As a follow-up to that, just so people know, just to reset the record, you healed so fast in the offseason that your coming back wasn't an issue. But were there times when you didn't know if that foot will let you get back in time to start the season?
There were a couple of days where I was pretty frustrated. Sometimes I just had to sit in the ice bath and ice my foot because it was too swollen to do anything. And during those times, I just kept telling myself just one day at a time, be patient and just do what you can. And like you said, I didn't really know if I could be back this year. And I'm just very blessed and thankful for the opportunity to be back with these guys.
Sefo, these last two games against Washington State and Utah were kind of like playoff games to get you to this point. A little bit of pressure there. Now that you're here, is there more pressure, or is the pressure relieved, and now that you're in the game, you can just let it go?
I don't know if there is pressure. I don't think anyone's picking us to win. I don't think anyone wants us to win. That's totally okay. We know what we're capable of. We know what UW's capable of, and we just have to go out there and play, I wouldn't say a flawless game, but to beat a very good team like UW, you just got to come out there and you have to play very well in all three phases in defense, offense, and special teams. And so, especially on offense, we have to be a lot better this week than we have in the past couple weeks.
Out of curiosity, were they ever on the radar
I've only had one offer growing up, and that was Colorado. So, I guess.
Sefo, when you guys started the season with Darren and Brian in that kind of co-offensive coordinator role, did it take some getting used to? And now that it's it seems like they have a really good connection. Can you kind of explain sort of how they work together and how you fit into that?
I think a lot of the kinks were worked out in the spring, and I could notice them a lot more because I wasn't playing. I was on the sidelines, or if it was a scrimmage, I was on the headset and kind of seeing what they were doing and picking at each other's brains and what they wanted to do. And I wouldn't say nothing's really perfect, but it's going pretty well for us. You know, they've got two great offensive minds back there now, and they've done a really good job all year of breaking down defenses and finding ways to exploit certain things that they do. And so they just really piggyback off of each other and really help us a lot on offense.
Do you hear both their voices in the headset, or?
In the spring?
Yeah.
I did in the spring. I don't. Coach Shev talks to me the most. That's just because he's on the sidelines, and then I'll talk to Coach Lingren in between drives. But Shev always has something to say, so when Coach talks, you listen.
Sefo,
So after I tell him what he's supposed to do, then I'm very confident. You know, he, as small as he is, he's a warrior, and he always says it to us. He's always got our back, and I really believe him. You know, his actions sometimes speak louder than his loud mouth, but you know, for the most part, he always does his job. He goes in there and he gives me time, and it's just the thing that we've been doing all year is that we just play for each other and we do anything for each other. And it sounds cliche, but this is a really close-knit team that would really do anything just to win.
Sefo, all year you've had guys like KB and step in for Bryce last week, Shane Callahan at Arizona, guys on defense. Can you talk about how big of a deal it is for you guys to have those guys that have, whether it's one game and Nick Fisher, things like that, throughout this season, how much of a role they've played in getting you guys here?
Yeah, they definitely played a big role. You know, a lot of guys in the past didn't believe Coach Mack when he tells us that some of you will play more than you ever expected in this game. And he said that before the WSU game, and lo and behold, Nick Fisher's out there a bunch making plays. And the biggest thing, too, is that we trust the guys coming in. Well, we just have so much depth now and guys that are able to make plays and do their job that no one's worried when other guys come in and other people get hurt. I think when we lost 2 linemen at Arizona, no one even worried. We were just like, all right, this next guy up, and let's keep going. And so just a lot of trust within this team and each other, and knowing that those guys will do their job, and so you need to do your job so you don't let anyone down.
So obviously Washington has a top-flight secondary. I'm not sure how much you go ones-on-ones in practice, but you go against a top-flight secondary when you guys go against one-on-one. How much confidence does that give you entering a game like this when you're going against a secondary that's so good, but you practice against one that's probably equally as good every week?
Yeah, I'm very confident going against these guys. You know, I'm very confident going against anybody in the nation. It's just a matter of fact of preparing and understanding your opponent's strengths, weaknesses, what they like to do. And so, like you said, they're a very good defense, very good secondary. I've seen that just on the film. And some of their guys are very lanky too, which will make it difficult. But, you know, I go against a very good secondary as well, like you alluded to. And so I'm excited to play them. You know, I'm excited to play in this game and play against some really good players.
Sefo, I talked to some of Coach Mack's former San Jose State players who are going to be at the game on Friday, and you know, they marvel at kind of looking back on it how quickly they bought into him, and it was really just about immediately feeling that connection that he cared about you more than just as a football player. When he first started in 2013, was there that immediate buy-in, or did it take some time, and how did he connect that in that way to you guys quickly, if he did?
It definitely took some time. You know, I think as a whole, we didn't buy in, you know, and I don't know how fast I bought in either. It's just, it takes time, especially with me. I'm really about connections, and I'm not the most open person. And so it's all about gaining trust from someone. But just to see him continually try to reach us in any way possible and help build the camaraderie of the team really meant a lot to these guys. And it's definitely helped us now. And I think we've built a really strong foundation, and it's really helped us this year to be very successful.
Sefo, in years past, guys would struggle to win matchups one-on-one, but now you look at it, and maybe on the outside, guys win one-on-one matchups all the time. What does that say about the development and the talent that's developed in this program?
It says a lot. You know, sometimes you're going to be asked to win one-on-one matchups, and especially when you play, for example, teams like Utah who are going to crowd the box, you have to win those one-on-one matchups or you're going to be stuck in that the whole game, because if you don't win the one-on-one matchups, then they're just going to keep blitzing and keep leaving guys free on the outside. And so it's very key. It alleviates stuff on the offense. And if you can hit one or two one-on-one matchups on the outside, then it really opens up everything else for you, because it'll make the defensive coordinator really think about what he's doing on defense.
Sefo, this team hasn't played in a conference, or this university hasn't played in a conference championship since 2005. They haven't won one since 2001. I don't know if you're aware of that, and I know this is your team and this is your guys' year, but when you hear that, what's your reaction?
It's time, I think, for us to win one. I think someone asked me, what's cooler, going to a Pac-12 championship or a bowl game? I said, I don't know. I've never been to either. So it's just an exciting time. You know, I think to us, it's just treating it like another game and doing our best to continue to make CU great again. And yeah, it's kind of becoming a long week, because we're very excited. We really want to play against these guys, because if you're scared of competition, then I think this is the wrong sport for you.
Sefo, after the game on Utah, Tedrick had sat up there and said that when he was recruited as a freshman, something that stuck with him was that there wasn't really any lying involved. He came here knowing and being told by the coaches that he wasn't going to go to the Rose Bowl in his first year, that they were going to try to build something here. And a couple other of the seniors have echoed similar things. Was that the case in your kind of coming to Colorado here? Were you told that that something special was being built, that it was going to be a bit of a building period here to try to accomplish something?
I don't know if that was the biggest key for me. The biggest key for me was looking for something of a family atmosphere outside of football and wanting to go to a place that I really enjoyed. And I knew it was going to be a rebuilding process. I kept track and tabs of how everything went, but it never deterred me from going here. I wanted to go here the whole time, and even though it was a uphill task, you know, I was still ready to take it on. And I think it just shows, and it's a testament to the seniors, because we've been here for 4 years and we knew what we were getting ourselves into.
Sefo, you mentioned a couple times that nobody wants you to win this game. Where are you getting that from, and how is that affecting the team?
I just think a lot of people on the outside just didn't expect us to be here. A lot of people want UW for playoff implications or anything like that, but basically the most important thing is what we want in the locker room, and we want to win. And just whatever game, whatever opponent they put in front of us, that's what we want to win. We want to win that game and just continue onwards from there, because as crazy as it sounds to me, the season's almost over, and being a senior, you want to make everything count. So that's what we're going to try and do.
Sefo, do you buy into the thought that the pressure here is on Washington? More than likely will be number 4 in the CFP and all of those things. Do you buy into that thought that the pressure will be on them, and that, for lack of a better term, you guys are kind of playing with house money, even though you've got a lot to still play for?
I don't really pay attention to rankings and all that. It's an honor whenever you're ranked or whatever they want to put you at, but we have no control over it. And basically, you know, we just want to go out there and play our best and do our best to win. It's been a while since CU's had a championship here, and so that's our goal. And especially as seniors and juniors, those who've been here for a long time and been through the struggle, we just want to do our best to end on a high note.
Thank you, Sefo.
Thanks, guys.